I think it was the end of second year. Then I went down to the war game shop in Edinburgh, and while we were there, the guy said, "Oh, I've got this new game in. That's Dungeons and Dragons." That would be probably summer 1979, and that's that sort of first term at uni. I sort of made up a bit of a wilderness, old empire, I called it. So Elaine was playing, Nick Crouch is there, Pete Shepherd, Malcolm Heisman, but there's probably about 6 or 7 people that I've stayed in touch with over the 40 years. Seems strange. Well, after 32 years in the nuclear power industry, I retired in December 2019, and a couple of months later, well, the world came to a bit of a shuddering halt, really. A friend of mine was in the middle of moving house and diagnosed as terminally ill. Unfortunately, he was terminally ill and he became very ill very quickly. In fact, he became paralyzed because he had spinal cancer. So he went from moving house to basically being stuck in a bed in a care home. We would have games with people playing by Discord. And Pete could do that even though he was lying in a care home bed. We did get down to see him for a few days before he passed away. So that was sad because he'd been playing since I was at university. After Pete's death, I thought it was worth a more detailed sort of exploration of Discord. I was able to run a scenario using the very first module I bought in 1979, just with a bit of a slight cultural update. Throughout most of the second year of the pandemic, we were doing something every Friday evening, which was really different. Pre-pandemic, we might get together for a long weekend of games 3 times a year, maybe 4 times a year. But instead we're running for an hour and a half. It was more like being back to Warsaw in 1979, except we were able to do it with Discord, which is a fantastic free technology. It's been kind of a common thread through it. There's a few common threads through it, but it's basically been one of my main hobbies for 42 years. And it's been the one that's been best at keeping friends in contact with each other.